The supply of condominiums to purchase in Portland inched up yet again. However, we are well below where we were last year at this time. How is buyer demand doing? Well, we'll get into that in just a minute. I'm Ron Milligan with RE/MAX Select here in Portland's Pearl District, and I've got the latest update on the condo market for you. So this month versus last month, how are we doing with the supply of listings, so active listings to purchase? Well, we came in at 257 this month versus last month 238. So it inched up a little bit, which is to be expected because on the whole, the supply of active listings for the entire metro area is increasing. It's on the rise. So not a surprise there. However, we are still very far behind where we were last year at this time in our supply of active listings. In fact, we're 29% below where we were last year at this time, which is good news for the condo market. So how are we doing with buyer demand? Buyer demand seems to be kind of flattened out. So last month we were at around 99 pending listings. This month we're at 97 pending listings. Not a big change. But when I did go back to last year at this time to see how many transactions we had under contract at that time, and that number is 126. So we've got 23% fewer listings under contract in the same area. So that says that buyer demand seems to be waning, which it is doing across the board in the metro area, particularly because of the high interest rates. So we seem to have lost a lot of that momentum that we were feeling in January and February and the start of March. And of course, in mid-March, rates took off like a rocket. They seem to be settling out a little bit. In fact, we've been seeing rates lower over the last week or so, which is a good thing. It's at least showing some stability on the market. So I'm hoping that buyers will start to come back to the market simply because the rates are what we've got, and we're probably going to have rates inching up throughout the balance of the year. So how many condos sold? Well, we had 86 condos sell in the last 30 days versus the previous month, which was 112. So it's not surprising. You know, we had a bit of a shock in March and April with the rising interest rates. So not a surprise that we have fewer condominiums that we're selling in the last 30 days. When I do the calculations, the math on where we are in our inventory in months, that puts us at 2.99 months of inventory. So inventory in months is that measure of supply and demand. Given no new listings, how long would it take to sell all of the listings currently on the market at the current rate of sales? 2.99, effectively 3 months of inventory. So a balanced market is probably somewhere between 4 to 6 months of inventory. Above that is going to be a buyer's advantage market. Below that is seller's advantage market. So like I've said in the past months, you know, the numbers have been looking good as far as the inventory in months. However, what we do know is there's not a lot of buyers out there looking, but the buyers who are out there are very serious about what they're doing. They're not tire kickers. They're not just kind of checking out the market. They're serious buyers. So fewer showings, but we're still getting contracts. On that note, how long is it taking homes to get a contract once they do hit the open market? On average, we're spending 17 days on the market. However, the average for the original list date is 57 or 52 days. So what that means is sometimes what happens is a property gets listed and it spends some time on the market. Maybe the agent and the seller decide that they want to pull the property off the market. They cancel the listing and then they immediately relist it to get a bump in viewership. So they're getting more eyes on the listing when they do something like that. So if we look at the collective days on market, that's at 52 on average. The homes that did sell, they sold at 99.45% of the asking price, which is pretty good. You know, usually we want to be above 98% in kind of a balanced market. You know, if we're hitting that 98% number, that's pretty good. But keep in mind, on the greater Portland market, that number is typically around 105% plus or minus. So we're definitely not doing as well as single family homes, but we're doing better and better month after month. So the number of sales this year, so looking at our year over year, so the first 4 months of 2021 versus the first 4 months of 2022. Sales are way up. In fact, we're up about 30% this year versus last year. And for the second time, the average sale price is up. For the first couple of months of this year, we were at depreciation. Now we're up at around 1.2% this year versus last year. It's not great, but it is progress, and I'll take it. So that's what I have for you this month. I will try to check in a couple of weeks just to see how the numbers are going for a quick update. But if you have any questions about what's going on, specific questions or thoughts or ideas, feel free to post them in the comments down below. I'd love to interact with you and hear what you're feeling and seeing. And then, as always, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you like the content and like this video. All right, we'll see you shortly.